Okay, we're back to work. I'm getting some little things done on the rear end. I got my sending unit in and the pickup. I got that hose ran over here just to a dead end until I run the hard line. I got my brake line mount installed. It goes down. It's good for all the movements. And I've got the rollover or breather one. I've got it coming out the bottom there. I've got the ground wire hooked, so got a lot of the rear end done. So what I'm going to work on next, same thing I did here on the rear, I'm going to go ahead and pull this front end out from under it. I guess is going to be the next step. So I'll be pulling all this out, cleaning it, painting it, replacing parts, whatever we need to do. I pulled the radiator. I did find some rust in the front half of this. It's really the crossover and the front engine mount. So that's going to be easy to repair, but just a little bit of repair there and a little bit on the front side. So that'll be pretty minor. But we'll go ahead and get the front end pulled off, and that's the bolt. You can see how worn that is, I think, in the camera. So we'll get the stepped washers to fix that. They should be here today or tomorrow. Okay, the first thing we'll do this morning, I'm going to work on this front cross member, get all this replaced, dig into that. I don't think it'll be too bad. So we'll get that done, and then I'll start the disassembly of the front end. Okay, I think what my plan is going to be on the front here, this bottom lip's okay, so I'm going to cut out a piece across here, kind of a rectangle, fill that in first, and then this section I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to use a piece of angle that already has like a 90 in it, and replace across that piece. But I'll get this piece in first. That'll kind of strengthen it a little bit before I cut that piece out. So I'll do this first. Okay, before I weld this back in, you can see why I'm doing this. I want to fix this to put some strength back in this because there's a lot to cut out on the inside there. Instead of cutting out this one whole piece, that would be kind of a big section on the cross member. So I want to put this in, that'll strengthen. Okay, this repair came out really good. I got it welded on the bottom all the way across. It's good enough. Once there's a coat of paint on it, it'll blend right in. I still got to grind the top side, but I have it up so I could have, when I welded the bottom of it here. So that is done, so that's easy. So while I have it up on the lift, I'm greasing and loosening some of the bolts so it'll be easier before I drop it. I got to get the drive shaft out of it, cut the brake lines here, and then I'll be ready to pull it apart. Here's a good look at this front end, the way this front end works. This is just like a rubber bushing on here instead of a bushing that goes into an outlet. So it's kind of weird, and this has a little cotter key on it. So the Arizona shop made these for me, custom ones. These are the old ones, obviously, but I've got new ones. And then back here, you can finally see how bad that hole's walled out there. So anyway, so that's what I'm waiting for the step washers for. Okay, where I'm at, this is the last thing I have to get off. Off camera, I spent 2 hours trying to get this out. I got this side of the bolt cut off. This side is still on there, and I can't get that bolt cut. I spent 2 hours because I have old saw blades is all I had. So I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Didn't really, it cut a little bit, but I couldn't get through it. So this morning I went out to Lowe's, and I'm going to try this Bosch thick metal blade. It's kind of aggressive as far as the teeth, so we'll see. Hopefully it cuts through the bolt, no problem. Maybe it just jerked me around, I don't know. But once I get that bolt cut out, the rear end or the front end is ready to come out. So like I said, it was 2 hours yesterday. I should have just stopped and went to Lowe's yesterday, but I tried beading on it. I tried a bunch of things. So anyway, I'm going to try this and see what happens. Okay, I finally got cut through that bolt. I don't know if you can see the daylight, but anyway, I got cut through it. I went through this brand new blade and it annihilated it. It's down to nothing. I got about 7/8 of the way through the bolt, and then I had to put the second one on. And I can't get a focus, but it did okay. But anyway, that bolt cost me a little over 2 hours and $22 to get off. So if you're keeping track of why the cars are money pits, well, that's why. 2 hours, $22 just to get that bolt out, to get this out. But anyway, I'm glad to have it done now. I'm going to roll the whole thing out from under it and start disassembling it. Okay, we got the rear end out from under it. I've got the rear end partially broken down. I got the springs off of it over here, so I've got a marked passenger driver's side. So I'll go through the next week or so, clean all these up. I think I'm going to have to get this one replaced at least. I have to start looking on eBay for that. I had to replace the ones in the back. This one's pretty rusted. This one may be salvageable, but it's the insides of them that are really rusted with the bolts, so I may end up replacing them. These are kind of hard to find, so we'll work on that. And on the front end, before I got the tie rod off, I made sure to measure it, so when I get the ends for it, I'll know where to put it. 57 1/8. So anyway, I got the bolts off. They're rusted in there pretty good, so I got PB Blaster in there. Try to knock them loose. But that's my goal for today. Just get the tie rod and idler arm off. And then we can call it a day. And then through the week, I'll start cleaning it, open it up, seeing how the gears look, seeing what needs to be replaced and repaired. Okay, today I'm going to work on getting my step washers installed here on the front end. So I'll get in this, and you can see now pretty good how worn that is. I'll get that lined up. It needs to come a little bit. And I'm going to have to weld it in and fill the weld on the back side and weld this one in really good to get it strong. That side's fine, the other side's fine. The other side I just need to drill, so this is the only one I really need to do. So I'll need to get these clean, get all the grease off. Before I do that, I've got one last bolt on the front, or this bolt. It was just wasn't even a bolt. It was a pin with a cotter key in it, but it is frozen in there. I've let it set. I've ground the bolt off flat so I can get a wrench on it, you can see. But nothing works. I had PB Blaster on it for a week and it's still frozen, so I'm going to try heating it and get this out before I start working on those. Yeah, I got it spinning free now, so let's pull it. There it comes. Alright, so that was rusted in there pretty good, but it's free. So all the bolts are now officially out. Front's ready to go, so now we will start the repair. Okay, I didn't get very far before I realized I thought the step washer on the back was 7/8, but it's actually 1 inch, and I don't have a 1-inch drill bit, so I had to order one. But I can still repair this. I just can't drill out these holes on the other side to replace those. But this, it's so worn out, I'm going to use the grinder to grind it and get that in place, so I can still get this side repaired, the main damage. I think I'm gonna have to weld all of this on the top and fill that. What about putting a piece in it, which I may still put a piece in it, or I may just fill with weld. I'm gonna get this ground and get this in place and then evaluate it at that point. So I've made some marks there to start grinding. I'm just gonna go slowly because I want a nice tight fit, but we'll get this in and we'll see how to repair it best. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this with weld. You can see it's kind of on this side. I'm going to fill that on the back side. I'll be able to weld the whole bung in. So I'm just going to fill that because it's not that big of a gap. I mean, once I fill it and weld it from the back side, I'm going to weld both sides of the step washer, so should be okay. Okay, it's been a few days since I've been out here, so let's get caught up. I'm starting to clean the frame, and the next thing I'm going to do is drill these holes out. I went with the step drill, and I got 7/8 hole. I had to order a drill bit. A 1 inch, so I have that now. So this is a big massive drill bit, the biggest one I've ever had. So I'm going to try to attempt not to break my arms and wrists when I drill this when it gets caught. So I'm going to drill these out and get these step washers in, and then I'm going to clean and degrease the frame and hopefully get that painted. Then I'll probably work on the front springs, and then I will start working on the rear end, or the front differential. Also, when I ordered the drill bit, I couldn't get that nut off because I couldn't find my impact, my air impact. So I went ahead and bought a new one, and that bolt is now loose, so I can change that seal. I go on Amazon and I bought this big impact here. It's a 1/2 inch. It takes DeWalt batteries. That's a generic DeWalt battery, but it was on sale for $99, and it is a beast. I mean, it tore that bolt right off. So far, this is pretty good. It's heavy. Everybody complained about it being heavy, but that's because it has so much torque. This works really good. It's way better than the air one that I had that I can't find. So this is going to come in handy. So I'll let you know how it holds up, but it seems to be pretty good so far. Okay, I successfully got my step washers in place here. I've got them welded on the front side and the back side, you can see. That was not fun at all. That drill bit was so big, that 1-inch drill bit, it caught and pulled and it snapped the drill around. I'm lucky I didn't break a wrist, so I did not enjoy that. You can see the cross member. I got the bottom of the frame all clean and degreased now, so I'm moving on to that part with that done. Just about got it ready for the rust prevention, then I'll get it painted. So I'm going through, doing the last of the cleaning up here. I still got some grease to get out of this side on the inside of the frame rail. But other than that, it'll be ready for paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and spend the next couple hours, hopefully an hour, hour and a half, getting this frame ready. And then I'm gonna turn my attention to the springs. I think I'll work on those, get those cleaned up and get the bushings out and paint them, and then I'll push the new bearings in. So they're bushings, not bearings. So anyway, that's where we're at. Okay, yesterday I got my springs cleaned and prepped with a metal prep and my top U-bolt mounts. I'm getting ready to put this one together. I got it lined up, set up so it'll stay steady, so it won't rock when I go down. I took the air tool there and I reamed that out a little bit, got it nice and smooth. So these only have bushings on the back, so I only got to put one on each spring, so it'll be ready to go together. This time I put my bushings in my freezer, and they've been in there for a week. So hopefully they'll be a little bit smaller, and they might drive down in there a little easier. I'm about to find out, so I'm going to go get those and see if I can get these installed. Okay, I brought the bushing in from the freezer after being in there for a week. It drove right in like 5 or 6 strokes with a hammer. So I would definitely suggest freezing bushings when they go in. I mean, it went right in, no problem. The old ones are super hard to get out. I used the thing that I made to prop them out, and they were rough coming out. I mean, they came out, but they took a lot of force. But those went right in, super easy. So I wish I had did that on the rear. So good tip. Like, I know that's a tip that I know, but I kind of forgot about. But definitely worked really well. Okay, I got both bushings in. They went in really smooth. Freezing the bushings really helped a lot. It's important not to heat springs because they're heat treated. So try not to put any heat on springs. That's my philosophy anyway. But they went in really smooth, so now they're ready for paint. Okay, for my upper U-bolt mounts, they had a bushing that went in there. I can't find it if they make it anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this in with a washer here, and I'm going to put an energy suspension bushing on it because it's just 2 inches tall. So a lot of energy suspensions are 2 inches tall. So I'm just going to weld a circle plate in there, weld it on the back side, and just change the mount. So we'll get those welded on, and then that'll fix these mounts for new bushings. Okay, I got the upper U-bolts mounts welded together. Those are ready for paint now. I got the springs painted. We'll go look at those now. There's the lower springs that go on, and then I've got the big ones painted. I just put a coat of paint on them, so those are getting ready. They'll be done today. Reassemble those. Now I'm working on the front tie rod, and both ends are kind of seized in there. I got both of the clamps loose, and I cleaned out the dirt, and I've got the PB blaster and the joints. They've set overnight, but it's still tight, so I'm getting ready to put some leverage on it and try twisting it and getting one of these ends loose. But they seem pretty seized, but I think they'll eventually come loose. So okay, I got one side loose. I had to use all that breaker bar to get this side loose. I don't know how I'm gonna get the other side because I have the other ball joint in the vise because the pipe was slipping, so not exactly sure how I'll get the other side out, but at least get this side out. It goes in there pretty far too. It's in there pretty deep. So the other side's going to be a little bit harder than this side. Like I say, I had leverage. I was able to clamp that in pretty tight in there to keep it from spinning, but this bar will spin. So I'll at least get this side, and then I'll work on the other side. Okay, to get the other side, I had to heat the shit out of that. I got almost red hot. I had to weld a piece of angle onto the bar, which I'll cut off and grind that back smooth again. But I finally, with the big breaker bar, I finally got it loose. I'm working PB blaster in it now to try to get it loose, but so at least it's free. So I'll get it off now, but that was a huge pain in the ass. Okay, there's my clamps for my tie rod. Those are prepped, ready for paint. And there's the tie rod itself, ready for paint. So now I'm going to turn my attention to the front end. I'm going to start pulling it apart, making a list of items that I need to buy, inspect things, and go through it. So start the tear down process right now. Okay, I got both of my hubs off down to the spindles. That's the passenger side. This is the driver's side. One thing I had to do, they have these special nuts in there. There's actually 2 of them, and they got 4 notches on them. I haven't ordered a tool for that. A lot of people just use chisels, and you can see where they've hit this one before, and they just kind of knock them around, but it's inside a big sleeve, the big hub. So what I did, I took a piece of 2.5 or 2.25 inch exhaust pipe, and I just cut 4 little tabs on it. This wasn't real strong, but it was strong enough to break these loose, so it fit on there pretty good. So it worked in a pinch to get them off. If it was real tight, this wouldn't work. Those tabs would have probably broken off. When I put this back together, I'll order the actual tool, but this worked really well to get them off. The side over there, the passenger side, was almost finger tight, so it came off. This side was a little tighter, but this tool, like I say, it only took about 5 minutes to make it, 5 or 10 minutes, and it was totally worth it for removing them. But they do make these tools. They're about 20 bucks, I think, for a socket, so I'll order one. But anyway, I got everything apart on here. I'm trying to decide how much further to go. Probably gonna go ahead and pull this out, pull the axles out, and check the universal joints on these. Feels good. It looks like these bearings look like they're brand new. I mean, they're Timken. They're not worn at all. I think this truck was serviced really well before it was parked. The brakes appear to be new. They're a little worn. The pads are a little worn, but the parts look new, so they were changed at some point before it was parked. So anyway, I want to pull the diff cover and look at other things, but so far so good. Okay, today I've been cleaning my front end, my Dana 44 here, and it was coming out pretty clean. I ordered a bunch of parts for it. I didn't know how far I was going to tear it apart. These bearings inside here seem okay, but I pulled the diff off, and the wear didn't look too bad on everything, except right there, you can see I have a broken tooth. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to replace this, I guess, which financially that's a hit, but I mean, it's not terribly hard to fix it, but financially that's going to be a little bit of a sting. But anyway, I'm going to do a little bit more preliminary looking around and everything, but the wheel seemed good. Like I say, the wear seems okay on it, but obviously, and it actually spins okay through there, but so that piece has been missing for a while. It's kind of ground smooth on the sides of it, so I don't know when it broke out of it, but I didn't find it down in here yet. I haven't dug through the oil, but it's probably something that happened a while ago. But anyway, it's kind of a bummer, but I'll keep working through it. And then, like I say, I'm probably going to go ahead and pull everything off and tear these completely down and just gut this whole thing and put everything I need to put into it new. So unfortunately, that's what I got to do, but that's what I got to do.